How's it going, guys? Bring your platoon here, and welcome to another great game in World of Tanks Xbox One Edition. Today I'm going to be playing in the Object 277, the Tier 10 Russian heavy tank. This thing is not very well armored in the front. It's quite much like the T10, where it doesn't have a lot of armor in the upper plate and lower plate, but it is very zoomy indeed. It feels very get up and go-ish, like a medium tank. And let's just go down the 3D model of this thing really quick so we can get on to the gameplay. So, the weaknesses of this tank include the following. The upper plate, flat on, is garbage. You can pen that with standard tier 10 ammunition, no problem, and even tier 8s. What the fuck am I looking at? 50 millimeters? Did you see that? That was weird. Anyway, moving on. I'm sure that was just like a weird bug. Whatever. Moving on. Auto ricochet angles in the upper hull to the top left and the top right. Not very good upper hull armor. It's like in the middle. If you're going to get damage, it's going to be there. If anyone can see your upper plate, they're just going to shoot you and go right through every time. Same thing for the lower plate. Not very great at all. If people face hug you, you can absolutely get dicked on by them shooting premium, whether it be... Oh, I'm showing the barrel. If you go very close to the tank, these viewports... They're not viewports, so you can go through them with heat and APCR respectively, because, yeah, they're kind of sort of weak to premium ammunition, and that's fine. And if you, for some reason, aiming down at this tank at all, just go ahead and aim for the right above the mantlet area, because it's not very well armored indeed, and that's probably your best chance to go through, because the roof is not overmatchable by any small guns by any means, being 55 millimeters thick. You can pen this hatch with standard ammunition if you're lucky. Otherwise, you're probably just gonna miss and bounce off the roof of it. If you load heat, you can do critical, quote-unquote, no-damage hits to this viewport unless you hit here or here, because spaced armor. It doesn't go through spaced armor, but you know that. It's not very good at side scraping. People can shoot you like this. If, let's just say, you're aiming at somebody like so, they can shoot right here. What? Let me just... Yeah, like, this entire upper plate is garbage. It's not very good for side scraping, and people know how to shoot you. If they shoot you here, though, well, it's gonna bounce, and you can absolutely bully people for that. But if you reverse side scrape, they can shoot this part of you. Or can they? I guess you'd really have to show your ass end for that, but you don't really have the best gun depression when you reverse side scraping, so avoid doing that at all costs. And that's only 50 millimeters thick. Jesus Christ. It's got the very stereotypical spaced armor all along. Let me just switch the fucking view here. All along here. And if you hit there, there's a good chance it's not going to go through, so just aim for the tracks right here, and you'll go through each and every time with standard ammunition. This thing doesn't take arty well either. 20 millimeters in the back on the chassis, and then I already went through the 55 millimeter thick roof of the turret. And that's pretty much all there is to know about this thing armor-wise. So let's get right into the gameplay. Okay, so we're going to be on El Haluf today. Standard battle, which is what I always love to see. Other than that, I like Team Destruction because no cap kill all is my... well, it's my go-to, pretty much. So I went down the armor model of this tank. So now let's go down the gun statistics, as well as speed and all that other jazz. I just gotta load back up the tab. La-di-doo-da, 277, there you are. And let's look at you, you magnificent beast. Okay, so for the gun, it's got a 130 millimeter gun on it. Let me just adjust the mic here really quick. It's got a 130 millimeter gun on it. It does 490 alpha damage on average per shot. It's got 265 base pen for your standard AP rounds, and then 340 premium pen for your heat rounds, and then 65 millimeters of penetration for your high explosive rounds, doing 640 damage on average. Yeah, I know. Waffles are going to hate you for that. But moving on. Its turret traverse isn't that great at 27 degrees per second as far as rotation goes. 400 view range. It's got .38 dispersion on the gun. It's definitely not that bad. Doesn't feel that bad because it is Russian. Of course it won't feel that bad. It says the aim time is 2.7. Again, doesn't feel that bad. Well, top speed is 55 kilometers an hour, with the reverse speed being 15 kilometers an hour. It's got really good traverse. I feel like it's just a heavier medium, so play it as such and you'll do fine. 2200 health. I already went down the view range. 12% fire chance, which is actually phenomenal for a Russian tank. 5.5 degrees of gun depression, which is weird. A weird number just overall. And then another weird number is the gun elevation, which is 15.5 degrees. And since I went through all the statistics of that, let's go ahead and get to the gameplay. The only reason I feel comfortable doing this is because I have lots of tanks behind me at A2, or I'm about to. Yes. I have a lot of tanks sniping. Actually, they're not even in A2 yet. I guess I just felt so confident with the tanks that were in B2 that anyone that pushed on me would get severely punished and immediately just regret doing what they're doing. So I'm using my hull down position here to damage this IS-7. I get extremely lucky with that shot. Don't know how that went right into his lower plate through his tracks, but whatever. I love the base pen on the AP rounds. I just feel so good. And they're going to fuck off around the corner, so I'm going to put a free shot into the side or ass end turret of this Super Conqueror. And I don't get punished for it. Because I know, now that they're actually in A2, that whoever pushes on me once again will be punished. And I make another mistake. Well, my first mistake there was auto-locking that light tank and then firing instead of manually aiming. And again, I feel safe in this spot because I'm right below a kind of tall hill. So if the T-92 were to dick on me on my engine deck, it would probably one-hit me or set me on fire or something stupid like that. I'm completely fine taking the damage here from this guy because I know where his weak point is, and he's just kind of playing his tank the wrong way, in my opinion. He's probably better off just side-scraping around corners and stuff like that, but I know I can shoot him in the mantlet, no problems there. Boom. Standard pen, no problem. Didn't even need premium. But he shoots me in the hatch there, and honestly at this point I had forgotten I had a hatch on this thing. That proves how little I've actually played this tank. But from what I played of it, it's a good tank. Sure, you don't have the gun depression of a medium. Sure, you don't have, like, the retarded armor of an IS-7 in the front. But you don't... I like the gun. The gun feels great. All I have to do is hit this STI in the upper plate, and I'll go through each and every time. I made a stupid play there, losing way too much health to that one tank being dead. But whatever. As long as I play smart, I'll be fine. This E5 tries pushing out. What is the reload time? I've got a gun rammer on this thing. Here I go. Oh, yeah. Gun rammer, vents, and then I believe the vertical stabilizer just to help out the gun handling as much as possible. I don't really see it fit to use optics on this thing because, one, people will out-detect you anyway with your crappy camo as a heavy tank, and it's really meant for the front lines being hull down, assisting the team. So, yeah, that's my excuse for not putting optics on, and if I really need more view range, then I'll just fucking use extra combat rations. So I come around here, because the IS-7 is pushing into us. I use the dead tanks as cover for my upper and lower plate, and then already dicks on him. So that was a good turnout there. This E5 is focusing down the A1 square, not paying attention to me at all. I don't know why he doesn't try and finish me off at all, but I don't know the reason I don't know the reason for a lot of the actions that people do on here. So, once again, he YOLOs the fucking light tank, trying to get away, and then just continues over to that side where there's more tanks, instead of turning around to finish me off and just engage me for as long as possible. But, yeah. He made a decision, and I can't really fault him. Yes, I can. I can absolutely fault him for it. STI is waiting for me to come around the corner, tries to put a shot into me, Unfortunately for him, I was expecting that. I put another free shot into him. The Alpha feels so good on this thing. It's 440 for every other tank in the Russian heavy line. It's your your stereotypical 440 Alpha. And for some reason, this thing having a 130 millimeter on it, the French tank, the French Tier 10 real heavy tank, the AMX M454, has a 130 millimeter on it, and that thing does 560 per hit. So, what's the reason for this thing only doing 490? I don't really know, and I don't really care. But he hits my gun. I don't know. He was shooting me on the move, so I couldn't really expect him to know what the fuck he was doing. Very unfortunate for him that he didn't finish me off there. Very also unfortunate that that tortoise had to be at the receiving end of that heat shell and then immediately get dicked on thereafter. Look at the gun for being damaged. My god. It is very Russian indeed. But here's this AFK, AMX 1390, who I didn't know was AFK at the moment. I'm trying to get some more free damage and maybe get a high roll for the 640 Alpha that the high explosives get. But, of course, he's in that perfect spot where that tank destroyer is going to fucking melt him down to nothing while we get there. And I'm not tall enough, and the E4 deck's on him, and that's the game. Didn't get any more damage, but I already have 7,400 damage combined, so I'm pretty pleased with that, I guess. Made money, even though I did shoot a few premiums there. Or did I? Yes, I did. Because of the tortoise at the end, and then I'm sure I did to a few other tanks. But, yeah. How do you play this thing? Like every other Russian tank. You go hull down, you shoot stuff, and if people rush you, in this thing especially, if you don't have support around you, you're going to die. Although that goes with every other tank, so I guess I shouldn't feel the need to mention that. Even though I do anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.